Howdy ho, people. Is this the end? Is this the end? I don't want it to be the end. It might be the end. I don't know what's going to happen. This is something I never thought I would plan for. I don't even have my headphones on. Let's add some light here. Let's get this going. Ooh. Too bright. Not too warm. Not warm enough. Too bright. Turn it down. Turn it down. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit of fill light. I am not a lighting expert. Welcome in. Mic is good. Light. Stars twinkling in the background. Countdown clock going. There are so many people who are probably wrong about what's going to happen. Right now, people are saying midnight and the app goes dark. I have to remember to keep looking here at the camera, but I won't. I will just be distracted the whole time. Okay, I'm in my basement. It's pretty cold. This is going to be a sad state of affairs for a professional video blog, YouTube, TikTok streamer. Bo, I hope that you'll join some other platforms. You name it, I'm on them. I mean, that's what I've spent the last 3. I haven't done any JFK content because I'm so busy, backing up platforms. I don't like the way this is turned. There we go. Okay. Doesn't make a difference to you. It makes a difference to me, my view of this microphone. John, how were you nearly banned from I'm not going to say that I haven't had my struggles, but I kind of figured out a path to negotiate it. What did you say that almost got you banned from TikTok for talking about JFK? I'll tell you one thing. Here's what I learned. TikTok does not want you to talk about the man liquor Carcano. Thanks for the heart meets nerd alert. I hope you'll join me on every other platform. TikTok does not want you to talk about the man liquor car. They don't want pictures of pew-pews. Put it that way. Changing my camera angle a little bit. Hopefully everybody can see this TV in the background clearly. I'm just playing with this positioning here a little bit. I'm going to put it back where I had it. Nope, too high. There we go. Okay. Petriana regrets from Mexico. Doesn't have to be I get it. We're all sad that this app is probably going away. But we're still friends, right? Like, you're interested in what I'm talking about. I'm interested in your opinions about it. I like having the discussions with you. And we'll keep doing it. It'll be harder. It'll be harder because there isn't a place like TikTok where this same dynamic happens. But, we adapt, right? We adjust or we fade away. I'm not ready to fade away yet. I was gonna play music and do all these other things, and I haven't figured it out in OBS yet. Like, I can't. If I had really prepared, I would have figured out this desktop audio thing so that I could then play videos on the live. Oh, Bo, it's 100% about government taking control. They would have cracked down. They should have cracked down on TMU way before this. But I don't, and maybe they will. Maybe they will. There's only a couple of things that they could maybe do to redeem themselves in the sight of in everybody's view, and that would be, okay, don't be a hypocrite. Uh, Ban all the other apps that are owned outside of the U.S., and that would include a lot of e-commerce stuff. And TeamU is the first example of that, primary example of that. Um, there's so many other things that they could have done with more priority other than just taking something away, taking something very popular away from 170 million users. And there's a lot of different opinions of the 170 million people that are here. Some are way on the right, and some are way on the left. And I just think, generally here, I have tried to stay in the middle because this account was not about politics. But if there is a thing that will unite us now, it is class consciousness. We are starting finally to realize how much we are ruled by oligarchs. So rich people, the rich people are in charge, and the non-rich people are out here just struggling to make a way to make a living, make ends meet. And we found a way. This platform was a way for many people. Some were here just for enjoyment, but other people had started small businesses as a result. It's the idea. If you think government understands small business and wants to help small business, that is ridiculous. It's not true. It's not the case. They absolutely need to control the narrative. Okay, I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been said way more clearly and way more passionately than what I'm trying to say. I'm not an orator, but people on both the left and the right can agree on this, that this is bullshit. We can't have anything nice. Yes, yes, Bo, I think the economy is going to suffer because of this, Yeah, right. So Lemon 8, let's talk about it. Uh, it is TikTok's much younger cousin, and it's not the same experience over there. You're limited to 1-minute videos. But that hasn't stopped people from flocking over. Without doing hardly anything, 7,000 people from here have now followed me over there. 7,000. And I've been on it for a month or something. I don't, why? Why is that? People are looking for a lifeboat. Lemon 8 may be a temporary lifeboat. Bite Dance might decide to go ahead and shut. I don't know. Lemon 8 may go dark on Sunday too, for all I know. But I know 7,000 people from here jumped over there pretty quickly, and I added 1,000 followers in the last 24 hours, doing nothing, almost nothing. I'm putting shorter videos over there. I tell you what I did do, as I said in a video this morning, I successfully downloaded 2,800 something videos. As far as I know, I haven't started going through them yet. I should. Because as far as I know, um, what was I going to say? I don't know. I downloaded 2,800 videos. Uh, I did it on a laptop, and I used an extension, a Chrome extension in the browser, to go right to the TikTok account and start downloading. And it took 4 hours. It delivered 13 or 14 zip files of 2,800. So that's like probably over 20 gigs or more. I didn't count it up, of video data. And as far as I know, it goes all the way back to the beginning of the account in what would have been Thanksgiving of 2022. Every single video without the watermark. I have it all. I've pulled it all off. So at least I have that collection of content still without the watermark. And there's some misinformation about how to. I mean, I would not. I saw one video saying you got to just start on your phone, saving them to your phone one at a time. No, that's ridiculous. Content creators larger than me, just that's going to be terabytes and terabytes of videos. That's ridiculous. You're not going to be able to do that on your phone. If you have some favorites, yeah, you should save them to your phone. Your best ones, the ones that you love the most from that you have saved over the year. Yeah, that you could probably do. But in terms of content, oh, this thing just crashed. Ugh. I'm going to set this again. I don't, why? Why did it do that? I should have built something a little better than this. Okay, set. 3. Oh, come on. Okay, well, this sucks. I'm trying to set a countdown clock for 13 hours. Okay, that timer's probably not actually accurate. Okay, School Hour 1. What app will you be using for content after tomorrow? So I am doing multiple transitions, and YouTube Shorts makes sense for a lot of reasons, because I think that it is probably the secondary place where people watch short form, scroll through style videos. I think YouTube Shorts is the second. Let me say this. The problem that I have is that there are already hundreds of JFK related podcasts, including some that I'm friends with. And I am right now not a podcaster, and I think that it would be really tough to start another JFK podcast in the wake of so many others. What I had an epiphany this morning, and I made a video about it. I realized that the reason why there are hundreds of JFK podcasts, yet I have 168,000 followers here without a podcast, is because this platform has allowed people to disagree and comment and debate and argue even. For the most part, it has been very civil disagreement. Uh, and because I try to stay out of the political realm, there's not a whole lot of political arguing on my page, or if it is, I just kind of like gloss over it or whatever, whatever. That's that, and this is this. But podcasts, you don't have that sort of interaction back and forth. And I think that is what appealed to the followers here, because it gave them the ability to shed their light, share their information and or their opinions, or debate certain points, or straight up call me wrong. I've been called a lot of crazy names. It doesn't get to be too much because I can't possibly read every comment. But I think that's the appeal. That has always been the appeal of this platform, is that people were able to speak up in the context of a 90-second video. You can't do that with a podcast. Having said that, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't morph into something else, including YouTube shorts and maybe longer form YouTube videos, keeping in mind that I'm not the first one to think of it. I'm not. It's not original. What's original is this short format. Nobody has done that like this. That's the thing that made this account different. And it's not because I can sing or dance or because I'm attractive in any sort of way. It's because of the subject matter and people's ability to and desire to talk about it. Lemonade does not do lives. So I don't think that's a solution. But, I think we have to face the reality that government's probably going to get their way at some point. And if the incoming presidential administration does something to stop the ban, like we could go dark for 1 day, 2 days, and then the new administration's first day in office, they could do a bunch of things to undo it. That may or may not fly. And if they did it, there's no guarantee even that this app will be quite the same after that happens. If they sell this app to somebody in America, we're going to have the same problems, to me, with this that happened to Twitter. I have always been an early adopter of social media. I was on Facebook in 2007, almost before anybody else. Facebook was very young in 2007, and not everybody was on it. It started to go downhill when our parents got on it, right? Same with Twitter. I was on Twitter in 2008. So long time on both of those apps. And they've just devolved into unusable cesspools of nonsense and advertisements. And I refuse to give them any oxygen, if you know what I mean. Potomac Fever says, I would never compromise my integrity and download Red Note or Lemon 8 ever if this app survives. That's all about the same, right? Either you believe that an app operating out of China poses an imminent threat, while at the same time ignoring the imminent threat that other big tech bros and oligarchs present to your data. If you're on any social media app, you've already given away the farm, so to speak. Sticking to TikTok does not protect you from that. TikTok is certainly no worse than any other social media app, except for people's unfounded fears of the people of China. There's a lot of misinformation about that from our own government. There's no evidence that TikTok has done anything against the interests of the American people. It's an American company, and it happens to have, one or two Chinese investors. But, people have this phobia of, I don't know, perhaps TikTok will ban me from talking about it. I think it's crazy. Red Note, I don't think that is a serious. Let me say this about Red Note. It's funny. I went over there, and the Chinese people on that app are lovely and very welcoming and very friendly. And I think Americans from TikTok have jumped over to Red Note to send a message to the government, and the government may turn around and end up banning Red Note also, because now the Supreme Court has said the government can take away from you anything it wants. So I don't think Red Note is a long-term solution to TikTok being banned. I think it's the best way that we have to say to government, hey, you screwed this up royally. Look what you did, you dumbasses. But there's with every app that isn't TikTok, it's not TikTok, and it's not perfect, and it is glitchy, and not to mention, unless you speak Mandarin, you're struggling from the beginning. I think, excuse me, I forgot to mute. Sorry. There might be one happy outcome to the migration to Red Note, which would be that Americans are starting to wake up and realize that the United States is not, contrary to what they believe, the center of the universe. It's a big world out there, and we are just one corner of it. And the way the rest of the world looks at us, Americans, is astounding and humbling. I got the opportunity to travel to Europe in the 90s as part of a musical tour that I was on. Nobody really knows that I was a professional sound engineer and went on tour and traveled with other music groups across the country. But I went to Europe one time in my life for a 2-week tour. And we were in Germany and Switzerland and France, and it was a fantastic time. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I was done. I was ready. I was tired, and I missed home. I missed America and all of those things. But from that day in the mid 90s to now, I've continued to say that if you as an American gets the opportunity to travel outside of the United States, and you can break yourself in gently by going to European countries that do speak English and will tolerate Americans on a, civil friendly, like, I feel like going to the United Kingdom as an example, or Germany or Switzerland, just as examples, are a nice, easy way to break into travel abroad. You should, if you have the means, you should visit all the other countries. When you come back from a European trip, what you realize is a couple of things. America is beautiful. We are lucky to live here. But we are not the center of the universe. And there's an entire world out there that many Americans never know about because they've never stepped foot outside of America, and so they don't have that perspective, and they don't have a feel for how the rest of the world views us. And maybe they don't care. Maybe you think, hey, I don't care what anybody else thinks of the United States as long as as long as the rent gets paid on time. And when you find out, uh, like that in China, 95% of people own their own homes, and that is just a thing that is nearly impossible here in the United States. You wonder how do they do that? Um, that's a whole road I can't go down. Traveling outside of the United States brings perspective to your own view of the United States when you realize that we're not the center of the universe. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I have a lot of international followers, and uh, they are very interested in America. People, I mean, they have in some context they view us Americans and America as a giant circus, and they might be right about that in some context, but they're also very interested in American culture, and why white people put mayonnaise on everything, but also United States history, and the story of JFK is well known internationally. Um, and so there's an interest in this topic that spans the world. It's not isolated to America. So I thought, well, that's great. Perhaps people outside the U.S. are interested in JFK. We'll see. All of that talking that I just did was about Red Note. I don't think it's inherently more dangerous than TikTok or Facebook for that matter. If you find comfort in the fact that at least Facebook and Twitter are American companies, if you find comfort in that fact, you are being misled. They are just as dangerous as any other social media app. Okay, Dusty Crow, who has been been following for quite a while, one of my loyal followers, I will say, is from Australia. And Dusty says the weather is good and people are friendly and accommodating. That sounds lovely. I would like to go to Australia. Keith or Kith says, you to Dusty, you are also controlled by the UK as a Five Eyes nation. I don't know what Five Eyes nation means. I'm interested in that. No freedom. But the idea that, do we as Americans really have freedom? Somebody may have been a creator on an American creator said this on a video, on a comment that they got from a Chinese national. Listen to this. They said, the Chinese creator said, as Americans, you have lots of opinions, but you don't have any real choices. Think about that. Yeah, we have hundreds of thousands, millions of different opinions. Yet one of our choices was just taken away from us. Is that freedom? You have the freedom to have an opinion, but you don't have the freedom to post on whatever social media app you want. Is that freedom? Ugh. Well, that was a long rant I just went on. looking at. Anyway, am I really going to sit here for 12 hours to the TikTok countdown? I don't know. Whoa. Oh, anybody remember Y2K? I mean, okay, let me tell you a couple things that I can assume if you're here. If you're here, you're probably one of my followers already. And if you're one of my followers already, then you are probably Gen X or close in age. I'm 57. Y2K was 25 years ago. Everybody remember that? 25 years ago, December 31st, 1999. After being hyped for like 3 or 4 weeks, Y2K finally, the very last hour came upon us. And this is an absolutely true story. My company had me go to the office at midnight, December 31st, 1999, and sit there. This was a company email, although in 2000 it wasn't email the way we think about it now. It was a message transmitted and printed out on a dot matrix print. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't like it is now. In 2000, the company, and I think that this happened in many companies across the country, sent us to the office on December 31st at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and run through a bunch of checks and make sure all of the computers were backed up to, at that time, where I think we had finally made the move to 3.5-inch floppy disks. And to back up lots of data, you needed to insert a series of 5 or 6 floppy disks in a row to store everything. That was 2000. Okay, you know what? The stupid little timer in the back is not going to work. It just crashed on me again. I got to find something else. Bo, see you around on every other app besides this one. Anyway, literally watch the clock count down to midnight because there was a concern that all of our computers were going to crash at midnight, go dark. We wouldn't be able to do business the next day. And there was a checklist of things to do to prepare for this disaster. And so we went in New Year's Eve, no parties, forget it. You're not going anywhere. You're going to the office. And there was a checklist of things to look at and check for. And at 12:01, we were instructed to boot up or whatever, and then somehow call in and leave a voicemail because, again, email wasn't what it was today. I don't know. I don't remember everything. I do remember at 12:05 on Sunday, January 1st, 2000, booting up all the computers at work and realizing that we had worried for nothing, and that if there was anything about the code that had needed to be fixed or rebuilt, that they had done it successfully, and that nothing happened on the morning of Y2K, and airplanes did not fall from the sky, and commerce did not stop, and the stock market didn't crash. I don't remember what the stock market did the next day, but pretty sure it went up when everybody realized, hey, our computers still work. That was fun. That was 25 years ago. 25 years ago. So there's plenty of us on here who now feel kind of like that again as we count down to the end of TikTok. And I don't think that it's being super pessimistic to just say, yeah, it's probably going dark on Sunday, at least for a day, 2 days. There's the inauguration on Monday, and then on Tuesday morning, there's going to be a bunch of things coming out of the new White House, and there are going to be some things that I disagree with and some other things that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And one of them is probably going to be TikTok. But then that kicks the can down the road, because I don't think ByteDance wants to sell. I don't think they have any motivation to sell. They might be sad, but I don't think being sad's enough to sell. I don't know. I gotta figure out, guys. I gotta figure out this countdown thing. I think I'm gonna pause this live and come back. Maybe at noon ish with a much better countdown clock. That's kind of bothering me. Thanks for all the likes and shares. Stick with us for the rest of the day. We're going to be in and out all day, making videos and going live. And as to whether or not I can do an entire marathon live, I don't have any idea. We'll find out. But I will probably be here at midnight to watch the lights go out, or not.